Morning, it's Quant Trade Edge, and I wanted to follow up on the video from late last week that went over a whole lot of good setups that we have going on in the market right now. And this is one of those times where you want to be trading, because trading is a marathon, and there are parts of it that just suck. There are parts of it where things don't happen the way you would expect them to. But now is not one of those times, so I think it's important that you're there all the time so that you can consciously sit out the bad times and take advantage of the good times. So going back over the patterns we looked at, this is Wheaton Precious Metals, WPM. This had the monthly inverse head and shoulders that's about 4 years long. Take it to the weekly, and this little spike stopped 2 cents high of this, and we've now broken through. It just broke through yesterday. GDX, a similar thing, gold miners instead of silver royalty. I guess depending on how you draw this, the breakout is still sitting there and impending. TME, Tencent Music. So this probably pulled back 1 day more than I would have expected, but it came back up through here, so I'm not concerned. Let's just take a quick look at the volume profile. Yeah, that pullback was on higher volume. Okay, but overall, this is still primarily green. A couple of big reds there, but 7 or so green, so that still looks good. Palantir, it has now broken out from, on the daily, this is a big, double bottom type pattern, and that's now broken out. On the weekly, the next target here is this 29.29. This could really be looked at as a huge cup and a handle here. So this could be the start of a big move on Palantir. AMD has surpassed our target. I was thinking that this would be resistance just because of how hard it sold from that point. And apparently it wasn't. There's 1 day of rest and quickly got to that target. And let's see, if we look at an intraday basis, this went straight through. Yeah, sliced through it like a knife through hot butter. Now the Australian dollar, this is still, has this breakout pending, and today is CPI in about 45 minutes, so that could have a big bearing on this, but it looks like it's made a clean break and it's consolidating, so I would expect the next move to be higher. Of course, the news can do anything it wants. British pound. We have this little triangle here. That perfectly bounced down. And then yesterday we broke out, and today we're getting some continuation to the upside. And this here is 128.94. That's our first logical situation. If the news, if it wants to react poorly from the news, it can tag this and pull back to here, or if it wants, it can just keep going. And then the euro, I don't remember if we looked at the euro or not. I thought we did, because it's had a very clean triangle. You've got, but then you've got this more minor pattern inside, and again, it's still setting up nicely. It's just like the British pound, where you got a rejection and then now a breakout. The British pound was already was all the way to the resistance, so just acting similar. So that's just a run through of the things we looked at a few days ago. If you want to add to that, you got something like Tesla that this has been an incredible move, and I keep getting the feeling that we'll get a little bit of a pullback from here. It doesn't have to be very much of a pullback, but we need at least one down close. Ever since here, we've had up, and even though this is red, this is an up close because of the gap. This 742, 788, up, and we just need one down close, and one down close would be a buy, and then we'll see if it continues there. Another possibility, so when you approach a resistance with this much one trendiness, the odds of it succeeding and continuing to go are a little bit lower, just because it's already spent. So sometimes what it needs to do is consolidate in here, and that's what creates this cup and handle type pattern. And once it consolidates, then it can go far. It can make a big move. So it doesn't mean that there's a lot of downside here. I just think there's time to consolidate. A minimum of 1 day, but ideally it could be even longer. Let me think. Is there anything else I'm looking at? That's about it. The S&P has been steadily trending up, and then all of a sudden yesterday we had a very big range day. So to me, that could be a capitulation of sorts. Shorts finally threw the towel in, which could lead to the little pullback. I think there was an interesting trend channel. Just do it on the SPY. If that was it. That would indicate we're breaking out, and typically when a breakout like that, you go much further. There was a very significant weekly trend that I was tracking, and we are definitely well above it, which means we're in breakout mode. But if you go off of this 2009 low, and till about 2011 it was actually following it, then it kind of went under. What's really nice about this is starting at a generational low, the 2009 low, this served as trend support for a while, and then it became trend resistance, kind of your March 2012 correction, just bouncing up here, and then 2014 was kind of a significant correction, lasted a couple of years. Again in January of 18, and then COVID did that, and then when we came back up, I think this was the election, August. I think this was the election that eventually sort of broke out through it. And once you break out from this line, the behavior above this line acts a lot more blow-off-ish, right? And this was kind of into the 2021 peak. And then we got this pullback. Now this is kind of where it gets sloppy. This line is not really respected here. You went below it, above it, below it, above it, below it again, but now we're above it. And again, being above this line to me is us being in blow-offy mode. Kind of like we had going into 2021, we've got this same type of behavior now, where it's very vertical. Like this is chop, getting above the line, it's vertical. Getting above the line, it's vertical. Before the line, it's chop both directions. Above the line, it's vertical. So, taking it to a monthly, it looks even more vertical. right now. So enjoy it while it lasts. and it can last for months. I'm not saying there's any impending market top, but this is where your judgment needs to come into play, where you need to pull enough out of this rally, but also recognize that it's not normal, and don't get married to the idea of it, and don't get caught on the backside of it. So anyway, sorry that ended up being very dark for what started out as a very positive video. The current market environment is very favorable, so take advantage of it.